Hi everyone, I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us. It's July 13th, Monday. As always, we're doing our live Monday through Friday Q&A session. The recording on YouTube, but live on TikTok, Immigration Lawyer John, and on Mondays on our Facebook page for JQK Law Firm. We're about to get it started in a second, but two notes. One is this is general guidance only, informational only. You should consult with an immigration lawyer in private to go over what you need to go through. And secondly, I've released the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. I think it's the best out there. I'm confident in that. It's not a detailed thing that every possible situation, but everything you need to know to give you an idea of what's going on even before you consult with the lawyer, so you go there in an educated fashion, know what you're talking about, and you can tell which lawyer does and doesn't know what they're talking about. Go check it out. Free. marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook is the website to download that. marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook. That should be the place where you get the Ultimate Marriage Green Card ebook. And with that, let's get it started. All right, so the main thing I wanted to start with is the student visa situation. Working with a lot of different schools, USC, Pepperdine, and more, to see what we can do to kind of accommodate the students, to guide them as to what things are possible with the massive hit that they took under this current administration. But aside from that, one issue that popped up was a case where a student applied for OPT. This is optional practical training. If you are studying in the United States, upon graduation, you get 1 year of time to study in your field to learn more about it before you go back home, and it's called OPT. Now, when you want to file for OPT, you have to get a piece of paper from your school, the DSO, the designated school official, and submit the form I-765, that's the work permit form, with that additional form. And submit that within 30 days of the issuance of the paperwork from the university. If the government gets it outside the 30 days, they're going to automatically deny the case. It might take a while. In this case, in particular, I'm talking about this poor student. It took them so long to deny it that the grace period that they had in the school ended as well. Now they're out of status, and there's not much you can do to fix it. So just give you a heads up on OPT. If you're going to file for it, you could file 90 days before graduation. You should immediately file for it. When it's the 89th day, you should submit it, because if there's problems, you want to get the case returned or denied so you can resubmit as soon as possible while you're still within the 90 days or the 60-day grace period afterwards, to alleviate any issues and not to miss out on this huge opportunity, which is OPT. So be very careful. It's easy stuff. Usually people don't hire lawyers for it, but you have to submit the paperwork in time and complete it properly. And I see it all the time that these problems happen, and the consequences are harsh, and many times you can't even fix it. So I wanted to share that information with you before we get started with some questions. Mohammed asks, my sister's green card holder. She has one baby born in the US and a second baby born in Pakistan. Okay, we got your question ends there. I need more information, but she should consult with an immigration lawyer. I'm guessing so. You say, so she wants to apply for her son. Which visa should she apply for? Which her son get the visa fastest? Well, I need to know what's going on. So if you are a green card holder and you have a child born overseas, potentially you could bring that child with you in your first trip outside of Pakistan or the home country, come to the United States, and they'll automatically get a green card as long as it's the first trip that parent comes to the United States and the green card is, the child is under the age of 2. So I got to see whether you fall within the exception or your sister does, people that could do that or not, and to be prepared how to handle the entry into the United States. So what I would recommend is have your sister schedule a consultation with an immigration lawyer, review the documents, see what's going on, make sure she doesn't have any immigration issues herself, and take it from there. So when she comes, the child could potentially get a green card. Can't say that for sure without reviewing the case, but that may be the best option, the fastest too. Vicky asks, what do you think? When green card interviews start again? It's not about what I think. It's whenever the field office that you're handling is going to schedule it, or whenever the embassy that you need to schedule it. It's different for every city, different for every country. It's not something I could think about or say. It's not up to me. It's up to a lot of other people. Daisy says, what do you think, what do you know about DACA? Are they accepting new applications? Well, as of today, they're supposed to start accepting new applications. I had a colleague submit a DACA application for a case last week and it was rejected. They're saying we're not handling these, but as of today, 25 days after the Supreme Court decision, they are supposed to start accepting it. USCIS, the organization of the government that's supposed to process these, has not given any information yet. Essentially, they're saying, no, we're not going to do it. So we don't really know what's going to happen with DACA. If you want to take the risk, at most it's filing fees, submit it, or government or whatever fees associated with it, and give it a shot. That may be the way to go. Source, hi sir, how are you too? Karina asks, do you know which kind of question they ask when you have interview for I-751 and N-400 the same day? It's not which kind of questions. I-751 is focused on your relationship to make sure that's good, and citizenship is focused on not only your relationship but all these other citizenship questions. That's a huge question to ask. Just schedule. You should go with a lawyer if you're having a same-day I-751 400 to avoid problems. That's what's strongly recommended. And when you get that lawyer, have a consultation with them to review what's going on, what kind of questions may come up. It's different for every case. It depends on your personal circumstances to see what red flags are in your case, so you could focus on those and be prepared to answer those questions. User 825 says, I am a green card holder. How can I bring my brother to the U.S.? You cannot yourself bring your brother to the U.S. as a green card holder. You have to be a U.S. citizen to file for your sibling, brother or sister's green card, and that process could take anywhere 15, 20 years, so it's going to take a long time. If your brother is interested in coming to the United States, it's best that he look into his own individual options to see how he could do it. But once you get naturalized, once you become a U.S. citizen, you can start the process for him. But again, it's going to take a long time. So what you should do is also, in addition to having that option, look to see what options exist for your brother. Potentially an investor, potentially finding work here, potentially your brother has extraordinary abilities that allow him to come here. There's all these kind of different things that may be options. I don't know without knowing more of your brother. In general, it's hard. The immigration situation is limited, but that, hopefully there'll be an exception for him. Hope Daniel sends a high five, send that back. Abdul says, for a CR1, is it faster by a citizen spouse, sponsor, or a green card holder? Okay, CR1 is a conditional relative green card. This is if you're getting a green card based on marriage, and the marriage is less than 2 years old at the issuance of the green card. In general, a marriage to a U.S. citizen case will be faster than a green card holder case. There may be sometimes where it's not, but that's that. And so that's that. That's where I'm going to leave it, because I'm sure you have some specific question when I come after that. That really should be consulted in private. Isa says, will you get a work permit if you do a marriage-based green card? Well, when you apply for a marriage-based green card, you do apply for a work permit. Most cases, people will get it. I can't say for sure you'll get it, but almost always it's given out. It just takes a while. And right now, who knows what's going on with the immigration system, if they shut down or not. But yeah, if you do file for adjustment of status in the United States, one of the applications you should also submit with it is a form called Form I-765, Employment Authorization Document Request, and hopefully you'll get it. User 825 says, my brother is under 18. Okay, so, I got to really dive in to see what's going on. Under 18 is not going to help much. Harmont says, when is travel ban opening? I'm stuck with 221G. Well, your 221G could be for a myriad of other reasons, but there's also several travel bans. So you could ask President Trump that. I know the president likes to use Twitter. Just ask him. That's the source of when these travel bans are ending. Okay. Abdul Wash follows up. What is the average income you need to sponsor your spouse? It depends on your household size, and there's a new public charge rule that has its own income requirements, but check out Form I-864P. Form I-864P. You could check that out online, and it has not the average, it has the minimums required, but things have gotten a little more strict under President Trump, so you may need to make more money, or your foreign spouse may need to as well. It's more complicated for the financial portion than it's ever been. Mark says, I have a supplement J approved, so are they going to send me a green card or not? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know anything about you. That's not enough information to be able to say it. Singsol says, I'm, and then stop, so we'll keep it at that. Thank you for the crew on Facebook that's watching. You guys are great. And it's always TikTok, a lot of lively questions. For those who don't know what the I-485J is, if you have an employment-based green card pending, and you either submit first your employer shows that there's a job that exists, and either at the same time or later you apply for a green card. If you apply for the green card later, or you change jobs later, you have to submit a Form I-485J that reaffirms that this job opportunity exists, or there is a job, and that has to get approved. But how and long it'll take to get the green card approved, that's a lot of other factors got to be analyzed to be able to answer that question, so consult the lawyer. Pelum says, what can he do in the United States that will get you deported? I mean, it's pretty, think about it, you'll get the answer, but it just, do a crime. Saul says, when the USCIS schedule the green card review, when are they going to schedule green card reviews? I don't know, contact USCIS and ask them. Abdullah says, what is CR6? A conditional relative 6, maybe a child of I can't remember what a CR6 is, just put it into Google and you'll check it out. Single says, I'm a green card holder, I adopted my nephew from India, can I Am I able to bring them here to USA? He is 4. Well, maybe. It depends on if the adoption was done correctly and how the documentation for that looks. And if done, yes, you could petition for them to get a green card and come here, but it depends on the adoption, if the U.S. accepts the adoption or not. So definitely consult a lawyer to review that first, and then you could petition for your nephew as the adopted parent, as long as they're under the adoption happens under the age of 16. That may be possible, but again, consult a lawyer in private for help on that. User 857 says, when will travel ban open? I don't know. As I mentioned before, President Trump's Twitter handle is probably the best way to answer that question. Just tweet and ask, Mr. President, when will the travel bans end? He's the one in charge of that, not me. Sawa says, hello, my green card case is in process. Will I have issues if I apply for scholarship, financial aid? Thanks. I don't know. I haven't seen the documentation you're submitting for the scholarships and for financial aid. If you mistakenly say something on there, and each school is different, each documentation is different, this is too general of a question. This is like individual legal advice, and that requires me to really jump in there. So it's not something that I can answer here. Pelham says, can you go back to the country you came from after doing asylum? Well, it's a violation of asylum status for you to go back to the country you escaped from. And so definitely while you're just an asylee, you should not do that. It's better you don't do that when you have a green card. Once you get a citizenship, they don't really pay attention, but historically it's all been good, but you never know under this administration how strict they are. I would not do it personally, but it's up to you what you want to do. The lawyer answer is no, you should not go back to your home country or use the passport of the home country or anything like that. You should get a refugee travel document and travel with that, but not go back to the home country. If you want to do differently, that's up to you and the risk you take on. Singswell says, thank you, I appreciate it, you're welcome. User 857, when I-797 will start interview? Well, your question doesn't make sense. I-797 is just a notice from USCIS, but when will interview start? I don't know. Contact USCIS and ask them. I'm not the person to ask for that. User 726 says, hi sir, I have my marriage abuse. Guess how much chances I get a green card? I don't know. I mean, guess how many fingers I have behind my back. It's like, I don't know. It's not a question. It's not about guessing here. You should consult a lawyer and have a solid case, and that's the way to do it. You guys got to think these through, these kind of questions, what your case is. I mean, if it was that easy, or I could just guess on a live show like this, then you wouldn't even, I wouldn't have a job here, it'd be worthless. So these are things that are complicated. You have to really analyze it and think about it. It's not a joke, it's a serious thing. Your U.S. is giving you status, or they're gonna kick you out of the country and put you in deportation, maybe put you in immigration court, maybe immigration jail under ICE. So these are like serious things. You can't just come here and guess them and ask this. You should consult a lawyer in private and take it very seriously. Saib says, my permit work is approved. How long it take to receive the work permit card? Well, this is a major issue. So this gentleman says, I believe this gentleman says that they got notice that their EAD, their employment authorization document, which people call the work permit, has been approved, which is great. However, they have not received the actual work permit card in the mail yet. And there was a report in the Washington Post that said that the government had originally or historically had this one company do the job of actually printing out the work permits and the green cards. However, they broke the agreement with that company and said, we're going to start printing these in-house. And that started at the beginning of this month. However, because of the budget shortfalls and budget issues that USCIS is having, potentially they may not be able to print those and do the work needed to print this themselves. So you might see massive delays in the actual issuance of the work permits or the green cards even after the case has been approved. It's crazy. It's really crazy. You get the approval notice, but you have to keep waiting for the actual green card or work permit to come. And so when you ask when that's going to happen, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not sure if your case falls within one of those cases that are delayed. And at the same time, is USCIS going to get his money so they can fix this situation? Or are they even going to bother fixing it? Because as you know, the people in charge are intentionally doing a lot of things to hurt immigrants. So we don't really know what's going to happen with these timelines, especially this really mind-bogglingly stupid issue of actually having the work permits or the green cards printed. You never would have thought that that was going to be an issue, but they found a way to make it an issue. And so this is another reason where people ask me questions here that are really specific or how things are going to happen in the future. Under this administration and under COVID-19 and under all the craziness, you know, a person can't just guess. It's not a crystal ball to guess in the future. We don't know. But this is a good question. When are you going to get the work permit? We don't know. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But if your case falls within one of those that are not being printed because of this print issue, you'll just have to wait until things are figured out, and we don't know when that is going to be. But it sucks. I know it's a terrible kind of thing. And you know, an employer is going to really want to see the work permit to be able to do it. Now, if it goes on for a long time, potentially USCIS may say, okay, just the approval notice will be proof of actual work authorization. They can use that. But we don't know if they'll do that. If you see it's taking a long time, contact USCIS first of all. Secondly, contact your local congressperson if people need to really push this so USCIS could change their policy and say the approval notice paper, the Form I-797 approval notice itself for the EAD is sufficient to show lawful permission to work and to hold them over until the work permits actually come in the mail. It's a crazy situation. I would never have thought years ago that I would be even talking about something like this. Oof, it's bad. Assad says, sir, you're an angel. Thank you so much. Pelum says, thank you. You're welcome. Destroyer says, after submitting my paperwork, initial interview, how long does it take for a family member visa? It takes however long the officer in charge of the case wants it to take. Okay, we got user says something in Hindi. I don't know. TikTok says, how much time after embassy accepts documents for the interview, marriage-based? The embassies are generally closed right now, so there is no answer to your question. Whenever they open up and whenever they get to you, they'll get to you. That's the only answer that exists. Anything else is a lie. TikTok says spouse to a citizen. Yeah, that'll answer that question. Yeah, again, there's no how long. It's whenever they get to you, they'll get to you. That's it. And you just got to be patient. And that's, I know I get asked this question 10 to 20 times a day. I know it's a really important question that people have, and everyone has it. But once you're the person being asked it every day, thousands of times it seems, in the months that it just, and you answer it fully every time, it becomes really daunting. It's just to say, there's nothing we know, there's nothing we can do about this. Unfortunately, it's a situation, and you just have to wait. And when things open up, they open up, and that's about it. Or, if you had a lawyer, talk with your lawyer about it. But we have this, avenue, this forum right here to talk about this stuff, and we can do it. Sping says, how long Form I-360 approval? I don't know. Consult with a lawyer about your case to see what kind of I-360 you have and what's going on. As you see, the how long questions will just keep coming. 120 days from green. Okay, Donia says 120 days from green card. Are we waiting? But it's almost 100 to have passed. No news at all. There is no 120-day rule. USCIS says wait 120 days, but there's no official date for that. You can wait as long as forever until you either sue them or something like that. So just keep waiting. It is what it is. That's about it. Now, if citizenship, if you wait 120 days, you could sue them, but you can sue them now too if they take too long with the green card. But it's depending on the case and what's required there. But again, this timeline stuff, there is no deadlines. The USCIS this is a benefit you're asking for. This is like you're saying, please, government of the U.S., could you give us something? So other than rare circumstances like citizenship where you could sue, that it's in the statute where you could sue, the rest of them you could sue under certain statutes as well, but the main one is citizenship. Other than that, you're just at their beck and call. It's like, please give this benefit, and whenever they get around to it, they'll give it to you. And you don't have a priority, you don't have any power, and that's that. And I hate to say it like that, I wish it wasn't the case, but that's really it. So that's why you guys gotta be patient. If there's something ridiculous going on, you complain, but that's just how it is. Abdul says, when will the U.S. international airports open? U.S. international airports have been open. I'm not sure what's going on with you. Mark Patel says, how long the immigration will stop? Your questions make sense. Immigration hasn't stopped. Some parts have, some parts doesn't, but it depends on what the situation is. Destroyer says, if a child gets aged out, is there any way to apply? Well, Destroyer, depends on what the child's situation is, what kind of case they had. There's a lot more information we need. That's too hypothetical to be able to answer here. Sam says, can I make expedite request for F2A category? You could give it a shot. User 857 says, my document finished processing, MVC I-130. What should I do? Just wait. It's been almost 3 years. I don't know. I don't know what kind of case you have, user 857. So I got to see what your case is and what your priority date is, and check out the visa bulletin. And then also the embassies are closed, so we have to wait for that. User 857, marriage document, green card. That shouldn't take that long, so there's something messed up on your case. Consult with immigration or in private. Sping says, vow a case, how long it take to approve? It could range drastically. I don't have an answer to that. Check with USCIS.gov or the attorney that submitted your case. VAWA has certain delays because of the way the statute is in the numbers, but it really depends on your specific case, and so consult with a lawyer about that in private to see what's going on. I don't have an answer, but check out USCIS.gov for timeline questions. Abdullah says, it's been so long and I haven't got my green card renewal. Consult with immigration. I'm not sure why it's taking this long. You might have made a mistake that's caused it. Might have been lost. I don't know. Sora says, I got my 10-year green card after 15 months. It was marriage green card. Yeah, that happens too. Humara says, father's green card applied 3 years ago. Father green card applied. Well, that's taking a long time. You should consult with immigration in private to see why it's taking that long. I don't know. Again, these timelines are all over the place. Yeah, just be patient and see what happens. Okay, so as you see, Humaira still haven't gotten it. I don't know what to tell you. Again, consult with immigration in private to see what's going on. Thank you everyone for joining on Facebook and on TikTok to go through these questions. It's a bizarre situation we're in right now. You got to keep in mind, just like people don't want to go to work, can't go to work because of COVID-19. There's employees within USCIS who might call in sick too, and they might be understaffed or not want to go to work or all this kind of stuff. So just be mindful these things do exist, and so we just have to be patient. That's the only thing we can do. Sora says, God bless you. Thank you as well. User 857 says, thank you, God bless you, and appreciate that as well. I wish I had better answers. I mean, trust me, it hurts my business too that they're doing all this kind of stuff. So I would, having cases linger or people think U.S. immigration is closed and not call me to even hire me, it hurts my business. It's all negative for me too. But the only thing could do is, be patient and try to do our best to make the system better. There's a lot of people who literally don't want you to succeed. People who are watching here, interested in immigration. They want your loved ones to be separated. I mean, it's kind of sick. It's sick people, but they want you guys to be away. They think of you negatively. And so we have, that is a powerful group of people there. And so we just have to deal with them as it comes. And the best thing we can do is just, pray and be the best people we can be to overcome this hatred. Your source says you always do the best for us. You're welcome. Thank you so much. Sakin says, how long will embassies take to reopen? I don't know. Ask the embassy that you're dealing with. Email them and say how long will it take to reopen. They'll have you a better answer than I can. All right, so we got a couple minutes left. If you have any non-time specific questions, feel free to shoot those out and we'll go over them quickly. I wanted to talk about what other case I want to talk about. So there are hiccups in the system where these travel bans do exist that cause delays or shutdowns, but sometimes there's exceptions to them. So it's really important that if you are facing a travel ban case, not to just rely on what the U.S. Embassy tells you or USCIS tells you, because they make mistakes. And it's really important to read the statute, read the travel ban that's in effect, because I've seen it frequently with the embassies make mistakes on the travel ban. And so look over what it is or consult a lawyer to see if it actually applies to you and take that. So we got a couple questions that popped up. Haram says, hey, I want to ask about passport renewal question. Passport is something that people do on their own. If you want to have a private consultation, set it up. But if you go to the Department of State's website, their passport page, they can fill you in on passport renewal. Carrie says, since 2018, just for removal of conditions on a green card. Let's see, 2018, yeah, it could happen. I've seen that happen. Abdullah says, what is Trump saying about marriage case? Trump's saying a lot of things about a lot of different cases. It depends on what kind of case you have. It's too hard to answer that question unless we just sit down and start over talking about that stuff, which I don't feel like doing right now. But essentially, immigrant visas are banned. So if your spouse of a green card holder is banned, embassies are shut down, the public charge rule is in effect. There's a lot of things that go into this that are problematic. And that's, I know it's case by case specific, embassy by embassy and officer specific, how they're going to deal with that. But these are the problems that do exist and we have to deal with and take a look at to be better prepared for dealing with the U.S. immigration system. That's just, it's a bizarre system to put it lightly. But I guess I'll take one last question. Gab, thank you for joining and following. If you haven't already, please subscribe on YouTube, JQK Law Firm, and get the bell. You'll get the videos of this and clips of the key questions and answers that I do, along with a lot of other stuff, examples of my approvals, which are posted on the community page on YouTube, as well on Instagram and Facebook, JK Law Firm. Second says, do you know what we can do for administrative processing? Yes, this is people who are stuck at the embassy after interview. At the appropriate time, depending on the case, you may be able to file a lawsuit against them to hurry it up, but it depends on what the case is. Abdullah says, if I'm applying for a CR1 and by the time my spouse gets to the U.S., it's been 2 years, since the marriage, does she get a 2-year, 10-year green card? That's a great question. So I have a video on YouTube that I did breaking this down, but in short, if your spouse is overseas and was going to get a CR1, a conditional green card, because the marriage was new, if they enter the United States with the immigrant visa after 2 years after the date of marriage, then they should get a 10-year green card. So it's one of those things. Let's say your wife has an interview about 1 year and 10 months after you're married. She should probably just wait additional 2 months so 2 years passes and then come to the United States to bypass the need to do an I-751 and have a conditional green card. Just get a full green card from the beginning and save yourself the money and time and hassle of doing removal of conditions for a CR1. Just get a pure IR1, so that if it's an immediate relative type case, that's the way to go, and I recommend that strongly if it works out that way, which it probably will because the travel bans and the delays. User 857 says, how much will public charge for renewal green card? Renewing a green card does not have public charge issues unless you violated the public charge rules some way. That focus is on if you're getting your initial green card. Let's see, we got a couple messages. Angel says, adjustment of status, but FOIA has a departure my husband never made. Is hope lost? No, I'm not sure which FOIA you mean, or are you talking about the I-94 travel history? But frequently, the CBP gets its information records from the airlines. They mistakenly will show that you left. I don't know what's going on in your case. I have to see which document says your husband's left and what kind of proof that we have to show that he didn't leave. But that's very important to analyze before filing for adjustment of status. You don't want to file and start a case and bring attention to it and then realize there are issues. So you should consult an immigration in private, see what documentation exists that does mistakenly claim that your husband left, and then think about how you could disprove that and the like. And then, probably it'll still work out, but I don't know. We have to see what's going on. And it depends on which officer you're dealing with and how strict they want to be into believing that or not. It's all over the place. But definitely consulting immigration in private is the best thing to do. Last question, Abdul says, is it hard to do a citizenship exam? Is it hard to do? For some people it's hard, and some others it's not. Just like in school, like when you're in elementary school, or is the science test hard? Well, yeah, for the kid that's getting A, it's not hard. For the kid that's getting F, it's really hard. So it really depends. Are you the A student or the F student or somewhere in between? Tarsum says, can you get SBA loan if you're not a citizen? I don't know. I'm not in charge of that. Contact the Small Business Administration. I keep saying it's the last question, but I keep going on. This will be the official one. Abdul says, are the USCIS really going to lay down the room, please, or just say that so they can still get one? Your question is not fully put down, but I think you're asking, is USCIS really going to close down, or are they just threatening it to get the money? I don't know. It's not up to me. We'll have to see. Abdul says, I'm a bad student. Don't worry, you just got to study and be prepared for it. Have an immigration lawyer that goes through the forms with you and asks some questions. I've done so many citizenship cases. In that initial consultation, I can get a feeling for the person if I'm worried about them or not. So just talk with a lawyer and get it, so you get a feel for it. Hopefully it's a person that is paying attention, and they could talk with you and try to catch to see how the risks are high or low, and to give you an opinion on that. All right, thank you, Abdul. Well, that's it for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining on TikTok and on Facebook. On TikTok, we're Immigration Lawyer John. And on the other social medias, it's just JQK Law Firm. I really recommend going on YouTube and subscribing to get the updates that I post there regularly, along with the rest of the social media sites. And if you're interested in a marriage case, go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com/ebook and download the ebook. You're welcome, Abdul. I think it's the best. I call it the ultimate marriage green card ebook. I think it's the best, free ebook that you'll get in this anywhere out there. It really breaks things down better than even a lot of law books do. But you definitely consult with an immigration attorney about your case. Abdul says, where am I live streaming tomorrow? I'm going to be on TikTok every day, but also on Instagram, JQK Law Firm. Tomorrow, Tuesday, is an Instagram day. Look forward to seeing you all then. Until that time, thank you all for joining. God bless and be safe. Bye-bye.